Hi guys, James from DBG here and welcome to another video. This is a very quick update on my 30k Emperor's Children. Now, as you can see, there's something rather bigger there. Also there's two of the characters that you've already seen and one that you haven't. Well, first of all, there's a Leviathan. I picked this bad boy up on eBay for considerably less than his retail cost of £72 with the equipment. It also came with a rather cool Cynic base, which we'll have a look at in a bit. But also, what I decided to do was change up the characters. Saul Tarvitz is very, well, let's say he's mediocre. In the fluff, he's pivotal. He's pivotal in the whole Heresy story. But in the game, I was struggling on working out how to use him because of what he was armed with and his stats. He's armed with a modified bolter that counts as a sniper rifle. He's armed with a chargeable broadsword, and he has a weapon skill 6, which is +1 on a normal Centurion. A Centurion is a captain level character, whereas a Praetor is a chapter master level character, so we say. So he's a conflict. He's got close combat sword, which is poo. It's +1 strength, AP5, duelist edge, and rending. So you're pretty much going to go first because a duelist edge gives you +1 initiative in a challenge, but only a challenge. So you would always have him at the front giving challenges. There's AP5. So you're going to be needing to roll the 6s to get the rending, which is AP2. Okay, maybe I should have said at the beginning, those of you who don't know Heresy, it is still pretty much based on 7th edition. So when I'm talking about APs, it's actually the armour will cancel out. So an AP2 will cancel out Terminator armour and below. So if you roll a 6 to wound when rending, it counts as AP2. So he needs to roll 6s, and he only has 3 attacks, 4 on a charge, and because his sword is two-handed, you never get an additional attack for having 2 close combat weapons. So that's a bit at odds. And then there's a sniper rifle, which means that it's heavy, so he needs to stand still to shoot it, so he should be at the back with the heavy weapons squads. This doesn't make sense. He's all over the place, and there's no true... I suppose you can use him either way, but I believe if you have him at the back shooting a sniper rifle, it's kind of wasted. He is a close combat character, admittedly not a very good one, but he is a close combat character. So I decided to ditch the idea of Saul Tarvitz, and we have this guy instead. So it's just a hand swap. So we have the sword in the pistol hand and the pistol in the sword hand. Just a simple bit of cutting and slashing, not a problem. And his guy's going to count as as a Centurion in small games, in Delegatus, so I can still use Rite of Wars and stuff like that. And in big games, he's going to be a Praetor, and that's going to be a Paragon Blade. Then we have the Legion Champion. He was going to be a chaplain, but then if you read the rules, Legion Chaplains cannot have power spears. So he comes as a champion. So all I did with him was I gave him a new shoulder pad from my bits box. I gave him a bolt pistol instead of a Volkite Charger. Volkite Charger was just too big in his hand. It looked odd. And I've repainted the blade of the spear to keep it... well, I didn't like the way I did it, so I repainted it. Simple as that. And then we have this new guy here. All right, let's move these out of the way. And we'll look at this new guy. This guy is what's known... As I was saying, this guy is what's known as... Hang on, focus. There we go. Is what's known as a Praevian. Oh, you really don't like focusing, do you? And a Praevian is the Centurion or Captain level character who looks after the Legion's cybernetic assets. So the stuff that's been given to them by the Mechanicum. So he walks into combat with big hulking robots of death. Obviously, it does mean that I am going to have to save a bit of money because the cheapest way to actually buy them is to get them from Forge World. I've been looking on eBay a lot for the type of robots I want. There's two types of robots that I'm looking to get. One is the Castellax, which are big walking gun platforms. Going to get the one with power blades. They're a bit better in close combat. They're monstrous creatures, so they're tough, and all their attacks are AP2, and they have Hammer of Wrath, and they're all rather cool. And the other one I'm looking at getting is Vorax. Vorax are sort of like hunting robots with rotor cannons and radiation weapons and lightning guns, and they can have a special ammunition that's poisoned. They're very cool, and it's actually cheaper to buy 3 Vorax than it is to buy 2 Castellax. So these guys are going to have Vorax. And the cool thing about this Praevian is, just looking at the kit bash, there's some Skitarii helmet, Skitarii power sword, plasma pistol, and then some Skitarii bits stuck on the back to represent his Cortex controller and Cortex designator, which are the things he needs to control these robots. What was I going to say? Yeah, sorry. The cool thing that legions, there's a list of legions in the book that can have special abilities. The Emperor's Children one doesn't really apply to me because these are a loyalist. So I'm going. So the other ones, I believe there's Scout, Furious Charge, and something else. But Scout basically means that you can infiltrate these guys and come in from a board edge. You roll dice, and that's a board edge. And they come in with 1 unit. So there's Praevian and 3 big monstrous creature robots and all that horrible stabby, shooty goodness. So that's what these guys are going to do. Once you actually get around to saving enough money and getting the Vorax. Now, let's look at this big guy. I haven't thought of a name for him, but this is a Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. Now, I've been watching a lot of there's a YouTube channel on YouTube called The Outer Circle. It's an Australian one run by a couple of Australians who are heavy into the hobby, all aspects of the hobby, but they love heresy. And the guy Macca, who does most of the heresy stuff, he likes Leviathans, but he thinks they're overpointed, which is probably true, because this load up is actually very close to being a knight in points cost, and they're not a knight. He recommends you go with 2 close combat weapons, the drill and the claw, and either drop them in a drop pod or run them across the battlefield and punch things in the face with them. They still have what are known as nipple guns, and they can also have phosphex, which is particularly nasty. And it's not a very popular weapon to take. It's a power weapon. Whack gamers tend to use lots of phosphex, unless you're playing Death Guard. It's actually quite characterful for Death Guard to use phosphex. Anyway, so I picked this guy's up, as I said, considerably cheaper than he would do. And the first thing you need to know about this guy: magnetised. And I don't need to do it because I am poo at magnetising. Come on, there we go. I am poo at magnetising. So, I tried. What did I try to do? I can't remember. Anyway, so basically, what I've done a bit of wet blending. It's very subtle. You can't really tell on the video. A bit of wet blending, and I've used some decals that I found on the Dark Millennium set. These are Blood Angel decals, but because they're gold and gold and purple work very well, I decided to do that. So this is a monstrous beast. This actual particular loadout without phosphex Costs 325 points. He has 4 hull points, or wounds. Obviously in 40k 8th edition it's a lot more than that. He has a 4+ invulnerable save. His front armour is 13, I believe he's 13, 12, 11. So basically he's a walking, he's more survivable than a Predator tank, and almost as survivable, or equally as survivable as a Land Raider. And the weapons he has a Siege Drill, which is amazing at carving through armoured vehicles. In the front there, it's got a melter gun. Oh. Put it down there. His nipple guns are 2 twin-linked Volkite calibers, which are basically, think of death rays from 1950s science fiction films. That's what a Volkite is. And these guys are, I think they're heavy 3, strength 6, AP 5. It's twin-linked, so you get to re-roll the misses, which is cool. But the thing about this guy is it has deflagrate, which basically means any unsaved wounds cause another wound, which is cool. And then we got this thing here, which is a Grav Flux Bombard, which basically causes difficult terrain and crushes things. It crushes infantry very well, and it's not so good at taking on a vehicle. It can probably do some serious damage to Rhino based stuff. Anything bigger than a Rhino or a Predator, it's going to have trouble. But yeah, so this is Mr. Leviathan. The reason he is so, I've probably gone a bit too far with the chipping, is because this army is based around Isfahan 3. These guys are loyalists fighting against the traitors in their own legion and other legions, and as you can see, he is standing on a broken Rhino from the Death Guard. I have actually painted green under there, but you can't see it because his foot and a big rock's there. Anyway, so that is Mr. Leviathan. I love the Leviathan model, and yeah, so that means now that my army, my Emperor's Children, without the Praevian, is sitting nicely at 2,000 points. With the Praevian, he's himself is about 100 points. But with the robots, when I get them, they're 300 points. And I've got a few other bits and bobs. Richard, or Reichardt, is selling his 30k Imperial Fists. And he has a few bits that I am buying off him. One of which is a quad mortar, which is very cool. And the other one is a Sakharan Venator, which is the one with a neutron laser in and purely anti-tank. And this army is a bit lacking in the anti-tank. Admittedly, I've got all the plasma guys, but the plasma guys need a mode of transport, and I might get a Rhino for them. I might get a couple of Rhinos, but the Champion and the Praetor are going to go in the Terminator squad. So they'll run across the battlefield, and obviously the Praevian is going to be on hold until I can save up the money for Forge World, which actually is not that much. It's not that much, especially considering Forge World have changed their postage. It used to be free postage, £250 you spend, and everything else below that is charged at was charged at 12.5% postage. So if you spent £100, the postage would be about £11. But it's now free postage with £75 spent, which just means that I buy the robots, which are £57 for 3, which is actually quite good considering they're quite big models. And then I need to find one more thing, which is probably going to be a second quad mortar, so I can have 2 quad mortars, and that's it. I'll call the army done. It'll be around 3,000 points, which is a nice number, and then I can work on the second legion, which I'm going to talk about in a video quite soon. So once again, please look at the links in the description for Goblin Gaming and White Shark Gaming, and use the link for Goblin Gaming when you buy stuff. Then the channel gets something back, which is very cool. As usual, do all the YouTubey stuff, like and subscribe. Look on Facebook, look on Instagram, we're there. And I'm going to say as usual again, third time. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.